Hello everybody, and welcome to the monthly stats video for February. I've tried to take on board a couple of comments that I had from the previous video, one to do with the contrast of the background, so I've tried to dim some of those down a bit so that the lettering stands out a bit better, so hopefully that will address that. And somebody else also suggested having the kilowatt hours in the pie charts rather than the percentage. So I've done that as well. Unfortunately, I can't seem to have both the kilowatt hours and the percentage. So what I might do is try and say what the percentage is, but the actual graph, the actual pie charts will display the kilowatt hours. So hopefully that will be better. So let's start with the facts and figures. We generated 390 kilowatt hours. That is approximately 100 kilowatt hours more than we generated in January. We imported 552 kilowatt hours and we exported about 31 kilowatt hours. We used a total of 893 kilowatt hours. The cost of that, had we been on just a standard Octopus tariff, would have been £317.65. That is with the capped price that we're all currently paying at the moment. So having solar panels that produce some electricity for us saved us a total of £116.72. Being on the Octopus Go tariff, enabling us to charge up the cars at night time and heat the hot water at night time and charge the house batteries at night time when the electricity is currently about 7.5 pence a kilowatt hour, has saved us about £120 in February. Our feed-in tariff export payments for February is £67.99. So the total cost to us in February for 893 kilowatt hours of electricity that we used was £66.06. £12.08 of that is a standing charge, which means that our average price per kilowatt hour in February was just 6.05 pence, so just over 6 pence. That's even better than January. And that's obviously because we're generating more power from the solar panels now that the days are getting a bit longer and the sun's getting a bit higher. So hopefully our average price per kilowatt hour will just keep coming down as we head towards the middle of the year. So the sharp-eyed ones of you will notice that our FIP payment was actually more than our actual bill in February. So we are actually net positive for February by about just under £2. Here is the pie chart that shows of all the power that we generated, how much we managed to keep and use ourselves and how much was exported. And you can see that we managed to keep 359 kilowatt hours, that's 92%. And we exported 31 kilowatt hours, that's about 8%. And if you compare that to January, you'll see that in January we did a little bit better, we kept a bit more of it. Here is the pie chart that breaks down the amount of generated power by my inverters. And in February, 223 kilowatt hours came from my SolarX inverter. Nearly 91 kilowatt hours came from my GrowWatt 2 kilowatt inverter, which has got the wall mounted panels connected to it. And the shed mounted solar panels produced 24 kilowatt hours, which is about 6%. And you can see here from the January pie chart that the shed-mounted solar is now making up a little bit more of the mix than it was in January, and the wall-mounted panels are also making up a little bit more of the total. At this time of year, they're starting to come into their own. And lastly, here is the pie chart that shows the mix of all the energy that we consumed. You can see that 495 kilowatt hours, which is about 55%, came from the nighttime rate, the Octopus nighttime rate, so that was quite cheap. And 359 kilowatt hours came from the solar, which is effectively free. That's about 40% of the total, and then the remaining 4% was during sort of the peak grid time use. And if you again compare that to the January figures, you'll see that the generated power makes up a much bigger proportion than it did in January. Our best day was on the 8th of February, and on that day we generated 32 kilowatt hours. Here's the graph for that day. Our worst day was on the 12th of February, and on that day we generated just 1.8 kilowatt hours. And here is the graph for that day. Here are the bar charts that break down our usage into half-hourly blocks, and you can see that again it's most of our electricity consumption is during the nighttime rate, very little during the daytime. There's even a couple of days where we've pulled no power at all. That's I think the first time that's happened now, because I think in January we pulled something from the grid on every day, so there was a couple of days there where we didn't pull anything, so that's good, and that should increase as we get closer to the summer. Well, that's it for this month. I'd just like to say thank you to 2 of my viewers who used my referral link to join Octopus Energy. I'm pretty sure you won't regret it, but thank you very much for using my referral code. It's on the screen now if anyone else wants to use it. But please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video. Cheers.